Imagine if you could be a fly on the wall for one of the top selling books right now on Amazon and see absolutely everything that they put in their back end in regards to keywords. Well, today you're going to be able to have that chance for one very good reason. Yours truly is really good at networking. So I'll hit more on that story and a lot of other surprises that I have in this video. But first and foremost, if you've ever wondered what the heck is on the back end of any top selling product today, I'm going to reveal those details and show you a little trick that I picked up at one of my actual masterminds. And you're going to be blown away by what people actually put on their back end in Amazon. And we'll finally answer the huge debate that's been going on in the Kindle Direct publishing world forever. And that is, do we fill the 7 slots in the back end with one word, or do we put multiple words? Well, today's your chance to learn what the best of the best have done. So I've got that and a bunch of other surprises, so stay tuned, and I'm gonna jump straight into my screen share. Okay, so a bit of backstory before we actually jump in here. First of all, most of you guys know that I host a 4-time-a-year, $12,000 per person mastermind for high-level Amazon FBA sellers. And let me just say, your network is your net worth, and these crazy mofos make a total combined amount of income of $400 million a year. So that's almost $500 million. And I'll tell you, these guys have got tricks up their sleeve. They got more tricks than the tricks Rabbit does. So one of them that I met there showed me a way that he didn't actually show me the way, he just basically gives me the actual keywords, that he's able to scrape keywords off the back end of any listing on Amazon. I've verified this through many of my listings. I've verified it through my own books on KDP, and yes, in fact, it does work. So I gave him a bunch of books and asked him to come up with the keywords for them, and here's what he came up with. So let's start with this one first. Since a lot of people got crushes on Crystal Radke, not necessarily her, but her bank account, because she's cashing in. And as a couple people have pointed out, this is a third-party publisher or a big-time publisher that basically has a bunch of these top books. So the first 4 to 5 books are actually from this publisher. Now this publisher's name is, let's see what it is. It is Rockridge Press. So again, Rockridge Press crushes it in the actual Kindle space. And let me show you now what the actual words are for this particular book. And I'm going to go ahead and scoot the screen in just so we can see both sides of this. All right, here we are. So a bit of overlap. And I want to remind you guys which book we're looking at. This is the #1 selling kids book on all of Amazon. As I said before, Crystal Radke has some bread because she's crushing it. Who knows how much they paid her. But here's the interesting thing. Right away, looking at the actual back end, you're going to notice that Rockridge, or whatever their name is, has a very similar format. Line 1, they waste it by putting easy nonfiction. Line 2, they waste it by putting juvenile. And line 3, they waste it by putting juvenile kindergarten ages 5 through 6. No reason, no rhyme behind why they're doing this. And they did this for every single one of their books. So just goes to show you that big publishers do not know what the hell they're doing. They just probably have big lists and a big PR team. That's the primary reason that they're able to rank this sucker. Now, let's look at what they and where they actually used most of the real estate. Right here on line 4. And what you're going to notice is they went and abided by the old FBA standard of putting a semicolon here. That could be a colon. I don't know the freaking difference. I don't get paid to know that. Teachers do. And if you're a teacher, I'm very disappointed that you're watching my video of all people, because I'm going to make all sorts of mistakes. So, all right, take a look at this. They use the old school semicolon, and they've got Learn to Write for Kids, activity books for kids ages 4 to 8, alphabet books, handwriting activity books, Learn to Write for Kids. Now, here's the thing. You're going to hear a lot of gurus out in this space, and even people that follow these gurus argue with me and say, like, that's a waste of space. They're not going to actually index for all those. Well, guess what? I've seen hundreds of these, and I've actually manually checked dozens and dozens, and yes, in fact, when they're a big seller, they do index for them. And even when they're a bad seller, they do index for them, because they just might not necessarily show up in the first 20 pages. But as long as Amazon deems a keyword relevant, they will index it if it's in the back end. And the back end consists of 50 characters. The max that you can stuff in there is 50 characters, as long as you don't really even put these. But guess what? I've even found that they index books with these if it sells well enough. So putting one word is kind of wasting some real estate. In FBA, we usually just ram and jam and move on. So again, here's what you can tell from Crystal Radke's book is the way that all of them are going to be done because they're all done by Rockridge Press. Let's go on to victim number 2 or book number 2. This is a human body activity book, which is some kind of coloring book for kids. Again, this is done by good old Rockridge Press. Here we go. This one is Katie Stokes, or Doctor to most of us. And again, we're going to see that they rammed and jammed with easy nonfiction juvenile and juvenile grades 1 to 2, ages 6 to 7. But again, take a look at what they executed on line 4 and 5. Now, interesting to note, the one thing that I forgot to mention here is I can only get usually the 6 lines. They miss a 7th one for some reason. And again, I've checked this with all of my products. For FBA, it gets all 5, but for KDP, it only gets 6. So I'm always missing number 7. And with Rockridge, they only put 5. So there's a chance that they put 6. I'm not exactly sure, but I'll show you what happened with my book when I show you at the end of this what actually comes up. But again, similar thing. And once again, I checked all these, and yes, in fact, this indexes for everything. Again, it's because it sells extremely well. So let's go on to the third one. And this one is also from Rockridge. This one instead is by Carol Roman. And this is a big, silly book of jokes for kids. The other interesting thing is that so far, all of these from Rockridge are from 2019. So we'll talk about why that's interesting here in a second. But again, they waste that line with easy nonfiction, juvenile, and juvenile grades 1 to 2, 6 to 7. And again, they ram and jam 4 and 5, and they stick them full of stuff with that semicolon. And in fact, on the second one, they kind of got a little kind of crazy. They didn't put a space here. Not that a space matters other than in between words, but this particular book is crushing it. And again, similar strategy by Rockridge, and you're going to notice they do that for all their books. So the next book that we have here is again by Rockridge, and this is a little bit old school. This is back to 2018, and if we scroll back down here, this is by Tanya Emlanova. Again, Rockridge, February 2018, same style, same strategy, no rhyme, no reason. And again, they jam these. And I didn't check how many characters this was, but I will say that they basically index for almost all these. And that could be because some of them are repetitive, because this is almost 177 characters. And remember, I told you that currently we can usually only put 50 characters. And so again, it could just be because they're a publisher, they get more on the back end, or it could just be because it's old. My guess is because it's a publisher and they've got additional things on the back end. But anyways, that's what they did for those actual books. Now, the next one is not from this same publisher. This is from Modern Kid Press, which I've talked about a lot. I've talked about their external strategies that they use to drive traffics to their book. And I've bragged and bragged about this San Antonio couple that's a couple of two. One does the graphic arts and the other does the marketing, which is essential in KDP. I know a lot of people out there are saying, Liz, I've sold all these books and I don't do any advertising. Well, guess what? The new frontier of Amazon is coming. FBA, it smacked the hell out of people that were stubborn enough not to want to do advertising. It will smack you if you're in the KDP niche. Mark my words. Look for that to happen in the next year. So you're going to have to learn this shit. I'm not telling you this just for shits and grins. I'm telling you this because I truly want you to become a better Amazon seller. And that's what you're fighting against. People that are willing to do it and some stubborn people that don't want to do it. So I will virtually slap the shit out of you to get your shit together. So, all right. Enough cursing now. Let's go ahead and go back to learning. All right, so this is from Modern Kid Press. This was right now. It was actually uploaded maybe 2 weeks ago. And let's take a look at how they utilize their back end. Here they have arts and crafts for kids Montessori 2 to 4 is line 2, but line 1 is activity books for kids 4 to 8 educational. And then line 3 is coloring books for kids ages 4 to 8. And then kindergarten workbooks, preschool pre-K, for those of us that can read, toddlers. And then finally, line 5, preschool learning activities, animal coloring book. And line 6, reading comprehension, learning pen control, 100 fun. That was fun, right? So let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at the characters on this one. And let's see how much they are. My guess is going to be around 50, exactly 49. So they don't have access like Rockridge does, right? Rockridge can shove the shit out of whatever they want in there and fit it in there. And I would be interested if anybody has an actual link to a current Rockridge one. I will more than gladly send this off to my buddy and get the actual keywords just for learning's sake. But if you have any books that you want to be investigated, go ahead and put them down here. Just because you listen this far, I will give you that gift. And I will do them on one of the next videos so you can see. If you want to test one of your own books out very sneakily, go ahead and do it. And I will do that just for those of you guys that have paid attention thus far. So, all right, let's continue to move here and see what the next actual book is. That was Modern Kid Press. As we see, they are using the full 7 actual slots and shoving them with as much as they can, which is what I highly recommend. Now we've got this one by LaToya Nicole, and this one is also a smaller printing press, it looks like Precise Publishing Inc., and this was also done on April 2020. And here's what they've got on theirs: ABCs of Black Girl Magic, Black Coloring Book, Hair Love Coloring Book, Black Girl Coloring Book, and all sorts of interesting things, including this last one, which just seems like they went crazy and they ran out of space, and so they freaked the hell out, and they basically shoved Mother-Daughter Coloring Pages Black Girl Book, Black Mom Coloring Book, Black Girl Coloring Book, LaToya Nicole's Coloring Book, 24 Shades of Business, because why the hell not? That just... we can put as much words as we can in there. I'm not exactly too sure why they went that crazy, but let's once again check their characters, other than that last one, because obviously that last one, they were just crazy nuts. But 48 characters. Now, I've never actually looked to see if I can put a full 50 in all of them, but I will take a look at line 6. I have an idea of how line 6 was mapped, which I'll kind of show you here in a second what it showed on my book. But that was LaToya Nicole's, who's recently been a bestseller and a hot new release. And let's round it out with this one, and then we'll talk about my book and we'll call it quits. But this is a brand new one that is a hot new release. It's called My Best Toddler Coloring Book. This one is independently published, so it's KDP, good old-fashioned KDP. And here's exactly what they have on their back end. Again, this one was created in April 2020. So again, this is stuff that people are currently using. And let's go ahead and take a look at their longest line, which is this one right here. This is line 2. And let's see how many characters line 2 has. Line 2 has exactly 50 characters. So again, they shoved it full of everything, but this is what the hot selling books are doing. They're not just putting one fucking word in the back end like dog book, dog coloring book, or anything like that. They are ramming and jamming just like the good old-fashioned FBA people do. Now let's talk about my book. All right, this was published by me April 2020, and I have right now maybe a total of 40 sales. I want to say it's 40 because I know some that have not come in, but they register on my PPC. So it's doing all right for my first actual real book. The first one that I did was a total joke because I try to do it for people that are actually in my course. But the second one is doing pretty good. So this one, you can see that I utilized my back end as much as I could. And let's take a look at one of these. This was the missing one. So I will show you this. We'll get this last one here. And I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to put it in here and see exactly 49 characters. Now let's talk about what happens on the back end, right? We've obviously got that first row of this are on the left-hand side for KDP keywords, and then we got the second row. This was the one that was missing on mine, which was here. So this would have been over on the left-hand side. Third row from the top was completely missing, so I couldn't see what was actually showing up for that. But the rest of the keywords, my buddy came through and showed those to me. So again, that's the importance of masterminding or talking to other like-minded and successful Kindle sellers to be able to get the most up-to-date information that you can in order to move your business to a whole other level. So hopefully the point of this is not to really so much spy on your competition, but it's just to see what other big-time sellers are doing instead of what people tell you to do. So one keyword, good luck if you're going to be stuffing one keyword, because then you got ninjas like me and the people that listen to me that are just stuffing that full and trying to get maximum value for all the keywords on their actual back end. So again, since you've listened thus far, if you want to just throw in an ASIN, all I need is for you to throw in an ASIN or a link to any product on Amazon. In one of the future videos, I will feature that actual product and show you exactly what keywords on the back end. And again, these are for learning purposes only, so you can see what the best of the best is doing. So questions or comments, post them below. I always personally answer them, and I will see you all on the next video.